Welcome to this week's episode of Autistic with a Chance of Weather. I'm JP, your host. I am an autistic meteorologist. An active viewer actually suggested that I talk about how my autism got me into weather and how autism played a factor into my meteorology career. I was supposed to do this episode last week for the 50th episode, but I forgot to look at the calendar about when the Disney Plus anniversary was. So here's this week's episode on how autism inspired me to become a meteorologist, as well as why I made a name change to the channel. Why the new vlog name? First, I want to address my background as an autistic meteorologist as to why I chose Weathering the Autism Storm as the original title of this channel to highlight both autism and weather, and was not meant to paint autism in a negative light. But after consideration and hearing from people, I am officially changing the name of the channel to Autistic with a Chance of Weather, and I'm changing most of my handles to that except my email, as Google wouldn't allow me to change the address to keep a theme of weather and autism. How it started. From a very young age, I had an autistic interest with maps. For example, I drew a precise map of how I got to the place during a vacation, which included a major family event. Not only did I do that, but I always asked some of my family members for the magazines from the plane, just so I can look at the airport maps at the back of the magazines. When I got older, I started to draw even more maps of fake lands to give weather forecasts for them, as well as drawing airports. Also, from a young age, I was also fascinated with weather. Whenever I visited my grandparents, I would go into the garage and watch the Weather Channel when there was no sports or any good cartoons, as I didn't get cable as a kid. In addition, I used to always watch the nightly news just for the sports report on ABC7, and just before the sports would be the weather. So my autistic interest in watching weather helped inspire me to want to study weather in addition to the maps. School. I really got the idea of going into meteorology for my career during the summer after freshman year of high school, as I was taking a computer class to fulfill the graduation requirements. A major project in the class was to use Microsoft Office to help plan my future about what career I wanted to go into, including what courses I would have to take in high school to get there, like calculus, physics, and chemistry. I chose meteorology as the career because of my love of maps, as well as some of the courses I was going to take sophomore year, like trigonometry honors and honors chemistry. Through most of high school, I was a decent student, although some courses were a bit turbulent, but I should have done a better job in college, as I had a rough time in college. Among the stuff I could have done better was be a bit more focused, as well as have talked to the physics department about my autism and how I could have been better accommodated in the labs. Overall, I should have been more proactive in school and trying to understand some things better and talk to my professors about what could have been helpful for me in some of the classes. After I graduated, I was and am still working at the airport while looking for a new job in the field of meteorology since I had gotten my degree. I decided over a year ago to pursue some of my other autistic interests, like Disneyland and baseball, and find ways to apply weather to them, such as the projects I'm working on in trying to predict the right times at Disneyland based on the weather forecast, as well as my recent presentation on how pitchers can adjust their mechanics to compensate for weather in baseball. I decided to do this as I was not having as much success in the job hunt until recently. I also did this as the paradigm in the weather enterprise is shifting towards how weather can be applied in everyday life. In addition, I have become more proactive within the weather community and advocating for autistics, such as being on the Accessibility Committee, serving currently on the AMS Board of Early Career Professionals, being involved in the AMS Aviation and Range Committee, as well as starting to give presentations about autism at a weather conference and a few weather podcasts, and currently working on a project to help emergency managers be better at accommodating the needs of autistics in the community when it comes to emergencies such as evacuation and preparation for a hurricane. And that is how autism was a big part of my decision to go into meteorology. I hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe for more content. If you have ideas for future episodes or content, or if you have an idea for a slogan, please comment them down below and I'll pick a winner for the slogan at 1,000 subscribers. Until next time, I'll see you on Autistic with a Chance of Weather.